Hello! I talked some of my friends into being on video and they're so excited. So one of the things that I've been wanting to share is, most of you know that I do an annual girls trip getaway with these women, and you've seen photos and I've blogged about it, but I said let's get together, and would you be willing to be on video as part of our girls weekend this year to share like why we do it, how we do it, and hopefully that inspires you. You've seen recent research going around. There's an article that's been getting forwarded everywhere that a girls trip is good for your health, and none of us need data to actually show us that. But it is kind of fun to see that this isn't something that's just some like, oh yeah, let's go to Vegas for the weekend, and like it's not just about a fun, luxurious thing to do. Like, wouldn't that be nice if I had the money and the time? But that is actually really sustaining to all of our lives. And so I wanted to have each of us kind of share that. We have been friends. Some of our friendships go back before this group started. We met in college. You guys have met over in college years. But this group has been going for 16 years. And I think it's important to remind ourselves that, and it started as a weekly group, so I think that's a helpful thing to just realize we all became friends, and then we moved away, like almost all four of us moved away, kind of within a pretty close period of time. And so it became pretty clear up front that we wanted to stay in touch. We had to add the consistency piece. And so we decided to do an annual get together every single year. And we've been doing that now for 13 years. There's been we don't know when to start counting the time. 14 years, 13 years, we're there.
14, who's counting?
But one of the things I love is that between the five of us, we have had 7 pregnancies as we've been getting together. 6 kids during that time.
Guess who?
6 stepkids have entered into the picture. We've had 4 major moves and a lot of other people just moving across town and that sort of thing. We've gone through 3 divorces with each other. We've had 3 weddings that we've gone to of each other. And I mean, it's actually amazing when you think, like, here we are now and we look like a bunch of middle-aged women, all married with kids and jobs. But it's actually amazing to me to think that all those pregnancies, nobody's ever missed a girls' weekend. All the breastfeeding, all the different jobs, it's pretty amazing. So I wanted all of you to be inspired by them, and especially as these 4 have given birth to a lot of babies and still shown up. I think that's amazing, seriously. But I just want all of us to be inspired by women who are stepping out of busy careers, lots of family life, showing up, and sometimes as a single mom, showing up and still being here for Girls Weekend. So let me introduce these amazing women to you. This is Karen, and she lives down in Loma Linda, California right now, and that's where we originally all kind of started a tiny bit. This is Jaylene, and she's from San Antonio, Texas. And
well, I'm originally from California. I just want to throw that out. I now live in San Antonio, Texas. But
I was like, right, you live there. And this is Krista, and she lives outside of Seattle, Washington. And this is Valerie, and she lives down in Loma Linda, California as well now. But you guys didn't always live there, and now the 2 of you are closer to each other there. And of course, I'm in San Francisco. So we get together in a different place every year. And so here we are in Sebastopol, California, Northern California this year. All right, so girls, I want to ask you to, just kind of starting off, to share with us like why it would be so easy to not come to a girls' weekend. Like I named a bunch of reasons, but like literally and specifically for your own life, like there's a lot. Spouses not wanting it necessarily, kids not wanting it, jobs. Specifically, what could have been holding you back, and why was it worth coming even through all of that? Like cast the vision for us. So do you want to go first?
Sure. So I mean, I really was inspired by this connection that I had because, for me, it was the opportunity outside of my regular daily life and all of my historical friends that we intentionally went close and deep and stayed there. And then I realized the consistency was important. So when our first and second girls group came up, the thought and the idea and then making it reality, I really had a hard time working with my schedule. I was super busy trying to get involved in my professional development of my career. And then all of a sudden, the girls group came up, and I would potentially been the only one who wasn't able to go based on my schedule.
Peer pressure.
And it's stressful. Yeah, it was incredibly stressful. But I mean, what was also important to me was the value that I had in this group. And so trying to coordinate, trying to figure out what day this conference was, and I had to go teach in another city or another country. and just making that work was stressful, and yet it has been incredibly rewarding every single time. To the point now that my family, who also recognizes this is an annual trip, they're like, is that the weekend you're going with the girls group? Okay. And so it's like, now it's a part of their life.
Your kids were born into it, actually.
That's true. That's
they don't
true.
even know mom who did go to
So
girls'
mom
weekend.
did, like when I was breastfeeding my first one, she came up to the cabin when we were at Big Bear.
Oh my gosh, that's
so
right.
that I could.
Yeah, we did that with you too.
So that I could see her, and they're just, that's now part of what, what makes me and what makes, you know, the friendship that I have. They know that that's a significant part of my life. And in terms of career-wise, I literally just have shared with you guys, like, okay, these are the dates, and then we know Jaylene's family life in terms of the season for baseball. We just coordinate, and it all has worked out for all of our good, I feel.
Yeah,
mine for sure.
There was a few years where we had to move dates a little bit, and we're still open to doing that. We set a date kind of a year in advance, I think, and pick that date and land on it and plan around it. And we've had to move it because there's something that comes up.
But came up.
Yeah, there's been some things, for sure, and we're willing to do that if we can try to find a backup. But I do love that you have said, okay, I know these 2 conferences I need to be at.
Yeah.
I know my husband's schedule, and so we are trying to find that ahead of time.
And it's kind of hard because if I don't coordinate well, and you guys, you know, if it doesn't work out, what happens is I'm away from the family 2 or 3 weekends in a row, and that's what's stressful for me. So it's been really nice that you guys have been understanding to move even one weekend so that I can be away for one weekend, home, and then I'm with you guys, you know, so that has been meaningful because you guys value that and you honor that for me and my family.
No, that's a great thing to bring up. So trying to find that weekend ahead of time so that the rest of it, so we can plan our family life in accordance to that.
Exactly.
And you, and I'm trying to think, like you came super pregnant one year and you were almost in bed the whole time. Like seriously.
Well, I was either in the bathroom or in bed. That is true.
But you didn't miss it.
No.
You probably wish you had.
No.
But I mean,
It was rough.
I remember we were all up in the bedroom with you, and you still were able to gain so much and participate.
Yes.
But I'm like, that's something you have made.
absolutely.
It was not because it was easy and good timing.
No, that was a rough. That was a rough one. But I did not miss it, and I mean, except for the boot camp that you forced everyone else to do when she was on her fitness phase.
You were lucky to miss that. You were lucky to miss that.
Somehow I got a pass.
The rest of us wish we were pregnant in bed now.
So definitely meaningful.
That's good. All right, Jay, what would stop you from coming, and why are you here?
I think what would stop me from coming is that my husband is gone 5 months out of the year, and so the other 6 to 7 months are very precious for us to spend time with the family. Because when he's gone 5 months out of the year, I get plenty of time with my girls alone, meaning my own 2 blood relation children, right? Not you guys. And
we want to be your girls too,
which you are. But so that time of the year is precious to me, and so that would stop me from coming. Not to mention my girls, though they have been born into this, like we were saying. The oldest one especially is like, oh, you can't go, I miss you, you gotta stay, and that, I mean, part of me feels really good that she says that, but also it's hard to pull away. So my husband is what I would say is my best friend, but having said that, he doesn't fulfill every single one of my needs. So the reason why I do end up coming, even though it is precious time with my family, is because there's multiple needs that are fed here by this group of girls that fed appropriately, if you will, here.
and sometimes not so appropriate.
Where are you going?
Let's just put it this way. I feel so comfortable with you guys, like I could get naked if I wanted to. Although I do my husband too, though, so.
Don't dare us, because you know.
No, but
We may have been naked once or twice together.
4 times. Who's counting?
She's our historian.
But that's what keeps me coming back is the consistency, but also I get fed appropriately by these ladies here that I don't get from my husband, even though I do think we have a really great relationship.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I love about you too is there's been, for each of us, but like I know you and I and some of us for some years, like it's not like we have the money to come do this. It's not like we have all this extra money and you have been probably better than any of us at like budgeting it out and saying, I need this to be affordable. Like I need to know how much we're spending. Like I need to be able to plan this out. And you've done an amazing job with that, I think. I mean, and it's not like your family sat down. I mean, that's money that could have been used up for a family vacation, you know?
We went through a really tough time where we actually not almost lost our house, but we came to a point where we were like, we do Dave Ramsey, and we were like, we need $400 extra a month. You know, where are we going to find that type thing? and it came down to maybe we need to sell our house. Not like we're going to lose it because we weren't making the payment, but as we would do our Dave Ramsey and budgeting everything, Girls Weekend was always there. And the wonderful thing about my husband is that he always bought in because he sees me during the year and he sees me come back a better person. And so if that's going to cost me $350, and there was a time that I know I put a lot of stress on you, but the thing is that we've all had seasons where financially we're better. And many people have picked up tabs for a full meal or for whatever it is. And I remember one year, just wishing I could pick up a tab, just wishing I could, and because it had been done for me so many times. And I think it happened 4 years ago. I was able to pick up the tab, and I just remember I'll pay for that. And I mean, and you guys were also appreciative, but I don't even know if you know, number one, how much it meant to me to be allowed to do it, but number two, to be able to do it when I had been carried so many years by you guys.
I appreciate your honesty because I think a lot of girls, they don't want to have that conversation with their own friends. Like, I can't afford, everyone wants to go out and do this. And the fact that you showed up and were honest made it easier for me also to say, I'd rather not. And then by that time, we were all really, really genuine with each other. It was easier to have those conversations because I think that can be a stepping stone for a lot of friendships. You know, when everyone's able to do it and that one person isn't and nobody wants to say anything.
Yeah, it was good. So, it was good. It gave a gift to all
good modeling.
And Krista, darling, so tell us what would have been hard. What's been the rub for you, and why is it worth it?
So, I mean, there are so many things that once we connected like we did, it's just a weekend that I wouldn't want to miss, and it's. I think one thing that has made it easier is that my family also buys into that, and
your husband married into it. This is not good. The moral of the story is train them quickly.
So, it went from an easier time where I was single and didn't have much going on the weekends, and it was easy for me to plan around, to a time where I had a new marriage, a man I loved, and a new baby, and I can't say that
would be an easy time to change the ritual.
Every time before I leave, I have a twinge of I don't want to leave. But I also love that they support and they know that I need this and that it's valuable to them. I think probably the hardest weekend I had to come was I had a miscarriage the week of our meeting, of our weekend, and part of me felt like I should not leave, and I think there could be times where the right decision would be to stay home on a weekend like that.
And grieve with your husband? That's a legit.
My husband said, this is what you need to go and be with your girlfriends, and it was the best. It was the best medicine for me, and it was it was a fun weekend, and it was everything I needed.
That happened. You had a surgery the day before or the morning of or something. I mean, it was crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah. You've all had times where you legitimately have a family member in the hospital. Literally would have been justified in not being here.
And there was another time where I had a friend's funeral. And I felt like the right decision would be to miss that weekend, and thankfully everybody changed the weekend. But I think there are times that that it could be the right thing to miss.
I think that also shows how much we had bought into it, because that actually happened toward the very beginning of us getting together, and it would have been very easy to just say, it's because it was a little last minute that we changed it. And it would have been very easy to just blow it off. But I love that we were all intentional. No, she needs to be at this funeral. The fact that you felt safe telling us when we had planned it, we were able to change everything, and it all worked out. I had actually forgotten about it until we were kind of talking about making this.
You gave us the gift of being able to try to change it.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that has made it easier for me is seeing all of you get pregnant, have babies, and still make this work. Because
You're like, okay, well, I have an excuse.
a baby is the best excuse not to come. Like,
It would
You
be.
girls
for
have
some
all
people.
been.
And
We
I
met
think
when we were
that
all like kind of
the
nobody
fact
had
that,
kids.
The
and
fact that we have all committed to it,
Yeah.
I think, is what
And really, our babies all know all of you. Like, these are all aunties right here, you know? They recognize us on video, they've met us in person.
And my daughter, this time before I left, she said, "Can I come along to the girls group?"
Aww.
And I said, "No, you can't come along to the girls group because it's really important that we all have our own friends. And this is what I want for you someday, is to have your friends."
Isn't that so cool to actually
And-
raise a kid that can't wait to have her own girls group?
Yeah.
I love that.
And there are things that we do together as a family, and those are important too. But
Yeah.
this is my time, and it's so amazing to have a family that supports that too.
Yay. All right, Miss Valerie.
Well, I can echo back many of the things you guys are bringing to the table as far as work, husband, scheduling, and I appreciate the fact so much that we do it so far in advance. We basically set the date ahead of time, and so because we go into it knowing that time, if things come up, we can adjust the schedule, and that's really important. And for me, through divorce, I did actually miss 1 year. And I just realized even more in just missing that 1 year because of the divorce and the logistics that were going on in my life, that I did miss out on something that I really need, which is my girls, to be able to be seen the way that you guys see me. And so basically that was just a lesson to me of just really how important you guys are to me, and that I'm going to move hell or high water.
And you did. You have.
You've
You've had more legitimate reasons to miss. And she's like, nope, I'm there.
Yeah, so it's just it's been a gift. It's one that I will not take for granted, and the consistency is important. So
Yeah, I think about the 1 year you missed. It's like, and I barely remember it, and like it's like just like we just, but you missed that year, which is a loss to all of us and to you. But then even the next year, I think it was a loss to you because we all had these memories from the year that we were like, and you were like, oh wait, I missed that, and we were still talking about it. So it like took a year or two to kind of for you to probably feel like you caught up in a sense.
Right.
Yeah. So there's.
And two other things is that for me, I got remarried, and it's been great for my husband to see the priority of having meaningful friendships in his life. And he's been impressed by what we have, and I think he wants that for himself. And also just the gift that I think I'm giving my daughter too, in that as she gets older, she's 15 now, and she just knows this is what we do, and I'm just looking forward to the fact that she's going to build those type of friendships and be modeled this, because it's going to take her through the deaths, the divorces, the remarriage, all those things that we need the life raft for.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you want that for your kids,
Yes,
and yet it's so hard for us to give it to ourselves, and that
Yes.
makes it harder for them to give it to themselves if they don't see you doing
yes,
it. I mean,
yes, because we could guilt ourselves all day long and tell ourselves all the reasons why we shouldn't, but really it is the gift, and if we can give that gift to other people, then it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Well, I've been nothing but impressed with all of you for how much you've done and given. And I think it's one of the fascinating things is, and I mean, there's the years for me that it's been like travel. I travel a lot for speaking, or I travel a lot for book tours. And the idea of like traveling again is like not like I want to be home on a weekend or something like that, or finances. But what I think that's been so fascinating, and I'd love to hear as we kind of wrap up this video of just kind of why we come, I think it's just gotten easier. Like I think the first couple of years, it's probably felt like, I need to go, or I should go, or I don't want to miss out, or I don't want to be the one. Like, but now it's like, it's not even a question in my mind. Like, I don't sit there and go, can I go? Can I afford to go? Do I want to go? It's like, that's girls' weekend. And it's like, something shifted from like, we should all get together and do this. And like, oh, this was fun. We should do it again. Like, it's not like we started off being like, well, maybe you did. Like, this is for life.
I'm a 6 on the Enneagram. What did I say?
But anyway, I think maybe some of us thought it or what, but it's not like that was the commitment that we all
didn't know.
We didn't
No, we
sign
didn't
up and
know.
be like, every year you have to come, and if you miss one, like it just kind of
We didn't
started
know.
as like, right? It started
Yeah.
like we should all get together, and then that was fun. We should do it again. But it didn't start with like everyone has to be there or like.
No, yeah.
But it's gotten easier.
I think, and what I think I love about this video series that you're setting up is that because we've been doing this, we can jumpstart people who are watching. We can tell you what are the important things. And when we first started doing this, we didn't decide the weekend until about 3 months out. And that was horrific.
Yeah.
We could not find a weekend
Yeah.
that would easily
has
fall
an
together.
excuse, exactly.
So what do we do now? And I know we'll get to this later, but what do we do now? A year in advance, we plan the weekend, and when people say, oh, let's do this on this weekend, we say, I can't, that's my girls' weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to pass on some tools to where the tried, the efforts won't have to be there. You can just follow a
We
system
will
that
share
has
what we
worked
have
for us.
learned.
We've learned a lot. We learned a lot.
And it is cool that we've learned enough now that it's a given. We all get the value, and the more we've done it, the more value we get from it, because the consistency, the vulnerability, like, I mean, we just show up and it's like magic. So I think that it becomes much. I think at the beginning phases, it's like a bigger ask. It's like, oh, it's going to cost. It's going to be done, and it's like the reward may not be. Maybe it's so riskier. You don't know if the reward is going to be up as high. And there were some years where it's not like everything was amazing when we got, like, there's some tough years we got together and stuff like that. But it's amazing over time. The cost becomes easier and the reward becomes higher. It's my experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean so much that you've all shown up and through everything. Yeah. Through everything. Do we say one more thing?
Oh, no, I was just going to say it's really interesting for me because some times that we've been ready to shop, I've been so busy with my regular life, and I really haven't been excited about coming as much as I know when I get there and see all of you, and I'll always leave feeling awesome. But in the moment, I feel like, oh, it's like either one more thing I have to do, or, oh, I'm just not feeling it. And yet I show up and you guys meet me where I'm at. We ask the questions that are valuable to each individual person. And I think, so I know that there's going to be times when people are getting together and one person's just going to be like, I don't feel like I can do this.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I can show up, I can be there because my mind is distracted by a family member who,
I mean, fair enough. You've texted us this time and was like, if I come, I'm coming on empty.
Which I wanted to communicate, and that's the beautiful thing about this group is that you guys were just like, come empty, we'll fill you up, or we'll meet you where you're at, and just having that permission to just come and be where I'm at. And
if
that's
you're in the
okay.
remember we've had so many times when one of us is like having a rough time in our relationship, rough time with another family member, stressed about our jobs, and not feeling like we could show up and be like, hey guys, and just, but thank God we don't pretend. Like we really don't have to.
That's a big part of it. Yeah, thank you for, I know, and I think too, it's probably a whole nother video, but but I think it's like, and you don't want to show up and be in this place in your marriage when you know somebody else just got engaged, and yet we've all shown up and like sat with the fact that it's not like we all just got married at the same time, all had kids at the same time, all struggled, like you've been the only single one at times, when somebody else was the only one that was going through a divorce, somebody else is and some, it's been some, it does with all the highs and lows, it's been really beautiful, so. Yay!